So yeah, great to be here. I'll be talking about a brief history of prototyping, creating the web piece by piece. Oh, and I should switch back to the slides. So first, a little bit about myself. So who is this guy who's standing right in front of you? I'm a husband and father of 4 kids. I'm originally a mechatronics guy, did technical school for mechatronics, but then made my passion into my job, which is the web. I'm currently a web enthusiast at WOM. I'm also a musician because having 4 kids and a full-time job is not enough. And I'm also, because this is not enough, I'm also one of the founders of Svelte Society Vienna, or short Vienna, which we're at the moment. So why prototype? It is usually to learn a lesson before we jump into a huge project. We want to see fast results when we prototype. And we want to fail on a smaller scale. So maybe to see if something functions before we create a bigger thing. We might create a small model and test our model and our hypothesis before we do the full-fledged version. And we prototype so that we don't get hurt later on. So in the days of old, of the internet, it was simple and easy. The way we did our prototyping was we had our HTML file on our computer and we open it in the web browser. Awesome, simple. Yeah, open in a browser. And then if everything was fine, we uploaded it via FTP. So the cool thing is I even looked it up. FTP, first web browser, before there was the web. And then in the gold rush of the web, it got a little bit more complicated. We had styles, a lot more complexity. I mean, styles is tricky enough with CSS, but we needed client-side interactivity. We needed more frameworks. We needed more frameworks for those frameworks. Like for our styling, we needed frameworks for styling for our frameworks that we use. And we needed complex local setups to wire all those complex things together. So a lot of tools come from that golden rush of the web, which we're, I think, currently towards the end of maybe, where we're slowly working towards a simpler and slimmer, svelter future of the web. So what is the svelte way in that prototyping? Because we saw like local setup can be really, really bad and complicated. I don't know how many of you worked with Webpack back in the day and then had to upgrade Webpack version and all hell broke loose. So what is the Svelte way? With Svelte 3, at the latest point, maybe before that, but I wasn't a Sveltian before that, there is the Svelte, the famous Svelte repo, where you can try out components in the browser. And the cool thing is it sends a request to the server. It sends back the code, the JavaScript code, and it gets executed, and you get your little preview inside of the browser. And you can even take a look at what the compiler returns to you. So this works pretty nicely to work in a web IDE. You have some simple IntelliSense and all of that stuff. So that's great. But then along comes Svelte Kit. Well, that's really hard to do in a REPL where you're kind of limited to your base route. And yeah, hooks, authentication, server side, like that's not really working. So the Svelte team introduced learn.svelte.dev, which was a really cool and interactive way to learn Svelte and SvelteKit, and to have the combination of learning the basics of the Svelte framework first, and then diving into the SvelteKit fundamentals, and like getting an understanding of how the Svelte framework, server side, and all of those things, how they come together and form this like nice application that we can work with and deploy to the web. So the story didn't really end there. So once upon a time, there was a Svelte hackathon, and there was one of the winners there was Swelt Lab. And this is what inspired the talk today. And yeah, I wanted to like give a little introduction on how prototyping can work in our current day and time in Svelte. So Svelte Lab has a lot of features like dark light mode for us crazy developers. We have command palette, just picking out a few. It has TypeScript support. It has its own Svelte icons. It installs packages. It has Vim key bindings for those crazy guys among us. And it even has a CLI, and it can import GitHub projects. And of course, when you're done prototyping, you want to download your project. So I brought Franz with me again. Now demo time. Look at the how now. Yeah. So I prepared a little bit. So you can see this is the Hello Basic template of Svelte Lab. So you have on the left, you have all of your files like you would have in your normal IDE. You have your code editor, pretty similar to VS Code. You have IntelliSense, you have type checking, you have formatting. And on the right, you have your little preview. Yeah, and on the down here, on the bottom here, you have again your small little feature set again. And yeah, let's hide that away for now. And we can see that it's already running on this port, and it's available here. And we can like have a lot of stuff that we can toggle. We can hide away the CLI if we want to, but we could also kind of kill the dev server and install some more packages like GZAP or something like that for nice animations. Yeah, to have a bigger thing. And the cool thing is, this is not a thing as we had in the Svelte REPL. It's not sending requests to the server, and the server then compiles the code and sends back the finished compilation. This is kind of the this is the development server running inside of your browser. So you're kind of running Node inside of V8, like a very small version of Node, but it works really well as a dev server. And that's like you're running some binaries and hooking up all those different things. And that's actually pretty cool and pretty amazing. So as I kind of promised that this will be a short talk, I just wanted to do one more little thing. Let's just here for a bit. Yeah. So I also mentioned that we can open. Oh, come on. Perfect. Verification code. Yeah, we can log into, we can open GitHub projects and then work on them and prototype away. Almost there. Easy cheesy. So I'm just copying over the GitHub URL. So pasting in, removing the HTTPS. Yeah, we want to leave. So now behind the scenes, we're kind of cloning the repository and setting up our local environment, our dev environment inside of the browser with all of the files that we have. And what we will see in a moment will be, this is all client side. Yeah, so we see it's booting up the web container, mounting the file system, installing dependencies, like all of the good stuff that we know from our local development. We even have like npm install running there. So it's pretty cool. That it's really great that Svelte is so small that it, let's imagine if we would do that with a next application. And it's starting up the dev server. And you can see our shiny new design of the website. No fonts, yeah, that's probably because of the web container. Yeah, happens. So there are some limitations. Yeah, it's just fonts. Don't tell it to your designer. Yeah, some logo is missing. But I mean, all in all, for prototyping, this is amazing. To kind of start off with your repository, have your starting point, and then jump into your idea, try it out, and if it works, it's cool. You can do that on the way with the, like with some browser-based tablet if you are crazy. I don't think so, no. So this is just running inside of the your application pretty much, but the thing that you could do is download and then do whatever Git magic you want to. Yeah, you have shortcuts. Yeah, new with template, set default. Yeah.
Make some changes, can I somehow push it back?
Not really. I mean, if you, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably what you could do is like log into your GitHub and then create the branch there. but like develop here, and when you're done with your component or whatever, copy the stuff over so it is checked in and you can take care about it later on. No, I don't think so, because it's calling the GitHub API without any authentication. Swelt Lab Inception. That's actually a great question. I haven't tried that one out. Yeah, and I don't want to crash anything at the moment. Maybe we try it out after. Yeah, so there is a lot of stuff that you can do. It's amazing for prototyping. The two guys who like ramped it up in I don't know how many weeks. Like that's kind of crazy what they did in that amount of time. Yeah, and I just wanted to show off their work and kind of give back a huge thanks, because it has such a great impact on the community. So this was the very short talk with a very short demo time. So #done. I'm happy that you were here and participated in the talk. Yeah, you can find the talk and some resource links and the slides on my website. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. All of this crazy node runtime basically or something like this?
Yes, so the web container thing, it's the same. It's using under the hood. It's using stack blitz, and the first step in that process was building learn.svelte.dev, and they build upon all of the learnings that they had in that project, and just took it a notch up. Mm-hmm.
When you start
No, it's encapsulated. But it. Yeah, there is here. Yeah, connect to project. So stack blitz, yeah, probably because I'm in incognito. I think there is some limitation with incognito. Yeah, should probably not have chosen to show Svelte Lab in incognito. If it's SQLite or something like that. Yeah. 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 And of course, I don't think that I mentioned it. When you're logged in, you can also kind of save your projects. I don't know where they end up, but. No, it's connected to a GitHub account somehow. Yeah, when you save it, it's connected to a GitHub account, because you have to log in to save, but you can also download it. Then it's just a zip file, I think.
background. PHP server running in the browser. So it's spin up a PHP project in the browser without the server. So mainly the lot WordPress instance running directly in the browser, and they just replace my SQL with SQLite, and it works.
Yeah, think of the possibilities. Yeah, but that's actually a great point. Maybe we can abuse this a little bit to really do server-side rendering on the client, because the latency is amazing. It is the case here, but like hide the container away, and then kind of preload some assets from the server, and then do. Yeah, we need a framework for that. Yeah. Yeah. Any more questions? Good. Then thank you so much for listening.